Today we're going to review the Instax Mini 10. This is the first Instax Mini camera if Fujifilm ever made, and this was only sold in Japan. It's not the first Fujifilm instant camera. They actually have this is based on the previous line of Fujifilm Ace800 Fotorama. This one used the same ISO 800 film that the previous generation of Fujifilm camera used. So this wasn't sold in the US. The next model was the Mini 20, was sold in the US as the rebranded for Romeo. This thing is the cheapest camera, the cheapest Instax camera you can get. So you can get this thing on eBay for like $30. I mean, you can also get the subsequent the 20 and the 25 for around the same price. So I think that make it attractive for anyone who wants to shoot in selfie for very cheap. This thing has it's very similar to like a more modern Instax Mini 8, 9 or 11. So they haven't changed that much over like the last 20 years. They still use like the same 60mm lens. I'm not sure if it's this. If you check the Wikipedia specs of every single camera, to see that the aperture and the shutter speed has been remaining more or less the same. There are some variations, but it hasn't changed that much. So it means that it's basically the same film, the same lens, or similar lens. Maybe the coating is different. So this is the CR1238 batteries, and this is like the camera batteries. This thing lasts like forever, like half a decade. I got this ones for like 2017. I still have them. Yeah, this thing lasts as long. The only downside is they're not as easy to get. You might have to find them like a hardware store, so like electronic store, but sometimes in the supermarket they have them, but not always. And they last they last like 5 years, but something like 3 or 5 years, depending how many packs of film you shoot. But they're very good. Got this camera back in the day, like 8 years ago. I got it for like $20, and now it's like 30. They had got a bit more expensive over the years, but still it's very good value for your money. One quirk of this camera is that it's extremely noisy when you turn it on and off. If you like to be discreet, this is probably not the camera for you. The only downside how with this camera is also had the tripod socks. I mean, they didn't have tripod. I mean, they didn't have tripod mounts from many years until like the Mini 19 and the Mini 17 and the more recent Instax Mini Square. They didn't have the tripod mount, so you kind of use this thing for like more serious landscape or for like self-portraits. On one side of the camera we have the flash button and the exposure compensation. So the flash, we can only force it to fire, but we can actually turn it off. On the top of the camera we have two buttons. One is for the power and the other one is for the focusing. You have two options, 0.6 meters to 3 meters, and the other one is 3 meters to infinity. Because these cameras are pretty old, the viewfinder is pretty hazy. Like, they tend to get hazy, and sometimes there's like some black spots there. I'm not sure, was this like a dust or like scratch or something, so they tend to get hazy, but it's still usable. I mean, this is a common problem with almost any kind of like film camera you can, or film camera you can get. And this is not super accurate. This just gives you an approximation of what you're gonna get. So if you're getting very close, it's gonna be a little bit of it's not gonna be accurate because of the parallax error you get. But so that's the only other downside. The viewfinder, that's a bit hazy, but it's not a big issue for me. It doesn't have two shutter speeds, so it has one here when you're shooting this orientation, and it has another one here when you're shooting like landscape orientation. So it has two shutter speeds. That always freak me out that they're gonna accidentally touch the other one and you're gonna waste film, which costs like $1, and you don't want to waste a film, but I never like that. I prefer just one shooter, so I know where is it, and it's not like, oh, I choose extra shooter, I can't play this accidentally. It's just something I don't like. I think that's the only downside I can find with this camera. I don't see any reason no go for it if you really want to go with like a cheap, or the 20 or 25 or 30. Those are the all those costs around the same price of this one. And I'm gonna show you a few pictures. I think this is this is good value for your money. There's no reason to, I mean, unless you want the tripod sock, I don't think there's any reason to go for like a more modern camera. You just can get like a second-hand 25 or 20 of this one, and it saves you a little bit of money. It's not our fault that Fujifilm has kept the same camera. They're making the same camera for like 20 years. They should make like a more modern, like a sharper glass lens or something like that, but that would probably increase the price too much, and it would be like a niche product. So I think that's all for this video, and thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.